Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Sorry about that. And welcome to the Reckless Paradise podcast. I am your host, Dystro. Tonight's episode is going to be. It's going to be a new series on this channel. I am going to call it a retrospective outlook, or just call it retrospective. Um, and what I do is I look at a company, like, how it became what it is and how it built from the ground up and all that stuff. And the first episode of retrospective that I'm going to do is over Game Changer Wrestling, or GCW. And it's been through so many iterations, with owners and founders and all that stuff. So I figured, why not give it a shot? So, Game Changer Wrestling, or GCW, was also formerly known as Jersey Championship Wrestling, which is his own thing now. Game Changer Wrestling and Jersey Championship Wrestling, JCW, they are their own thing. Um, so it was founded in January of 1999, and it was revived in September 2013. But I'm going to go over when it first became what it is, and then the revive and all that stuff. Um, so the founder was Riki Otatsu, if I'm saying that correctly, and he was the owner between 1999 and 2000, and then when it got revived in 2013 to 2015, and then it became Brett Lauderdale and Danny Demento's ordeal between 2015 and 2019. And then Danny Demento founded ICW No Holds Barred, which is kind of on the outskirts right now, which I'll do that in a later episode. I'll talk about that maybe. And then to from 2019 to present day, it's been Brett Lauderdale as the owner. So, Game Changer Wrestling is an American indie promotion based out of New Jersey. They promoted. The promotion was originally founded by Riki Otatsu in 1999. It was rebranded under its current name in 2015 after a sale between to Danny Demento and current owner Brett Lauderdale. The promotion specializes in hardcore wrestling as well as mixed martial arts inspired shoot style fights, which that's the blood sport promotion, or blood sport events that they run every year. Um, GCW has grown from running shows based in New Jersey to holding events across the United States, such as well as internationally in Canada, United Kingdom, Japan, Australia, Germany, France, and Mexico. Um, and I know they're going into, yeah, they're going back into France, but I know they're going into Italy later this year. So some of the annual GCW events was, Backyard Wrestling, Bloodsport, Joe Janela Spring Break, the NGI Nick Gage Invitational, and the Tournament of Survival. So, I've been actually fortunate enough to go to 3, 4 of those events. I've been to I've been to Effie's Big Gay Brunch 2 times. Or no, I've been to Big Gay Brunch once. I've been to, what was it? It was Scene of the Crime, and then I've been to the 2 previous Nick Gage Invitationals 2 times, which those are always fun. So, Jersey Championship Wrestling was founded by Riki Tatsu, also known by his ring name of Ricky O. That's actually a cool name. In January of 1999 in New Jersey, JCW ran their first show on January 29th, 2000 in Lyndhurst, New Jersey. Later that year, Jersey Championship Wrestling hosted the inaugural Jersey J Cup, which featured many of the top independent wrestlers of that time period. They would continue to host the tournament until 2004, when JCW was sold to the rival company National Wrestling Superstars. um, so then the promotion would remain dormant for nearly a decade until September 2013, when, after the closure of National Wrestling Superstars, Otatsu reclaimed the rights to JCW and reopened the promotion. In April 2014, JCW opens its own training school in North Brigham, and then later that year, JCW would return to hosting the Jersey J Cup. So, then we go into 2015, June of 2015. JCW rebranded itself to Game Changer Wrestling after being purchased by Brett Lauderdale and Danny Demento. Since the buyout, JCW began to predominantly feature hardcore wrestling and continued to enjoy success in the New Jersey wrestling scene. JCW began known for producing several tournaments featuring independent superstars, featuring or including the Nick Gage Invitational Ultraviolet Tournament, the Tournament of Survival, and the Acid Cup. Now, I know the Acid Cup, it was like a tribute to Trent Acid, which, God bless that man. I wish he was still here. The Nick Gage Invitational, those are always fun. Tournament Survival, same ordeal. And it's always like a one night tournament, which is always good. Because you don't want to do like 2 night thing and then it kind of gets burned out a little bit. But they did do that with Jersey J Cup for Jersey Championship Wrestling. Because like the first person that comes to mind when I think of the Jersey J Cup is Jordan Oliver. Because he went through, God, he went through so many people. I know the finals one year was Jordan Oliver versus Mike Bailey, and you win the tournament, but you also win the JCW World Championship. And he held that shit for like a long, long time, which is very good. So, in March of 2017, JCW produced Joe Janela's Spring Break in Fern Park, Florida, which I'm kind of not near there, but hey, I'm still in Florida. This would become an annual tradition for the company. GCW would begin to expand throughout the United States, hosted its first show in Los Angeles in November 2018, titled Joey Janela's LA Confidential, which I think that was the first show I ever watched of GCW. And I've been an avid GCW fan ever since, like, I think 2022. I think that's when I started watching them more. So then in April of 2018, GCW partnered with Matt Riddle to produce Matt Riddle's Bloodsport, and then it became Josh Barnett's Bloodsport ever since. So then in August 2018, GCW began simulcasting their events on both IWTV and Triller, and then in December 2020, they would end their partnership with IWTV, and then they've been on Triller ever since. In 2021, IWTV sued GCW for the breach of contract, and an out-of-court settlement was reached when that involved GCW producing a series of 8 events exclusively on IWTV, dubbed the Settlement Series, which I remember that because they had a lot of those. And they were primarily afternoon events held prior to JCW and GCW shows, featuring younger, lower card talent. And then in May of 2021, Lauderdale relaunched the JCW name as a separate brand, holding smaller events in the afternoon of major GCW shows, and utilizing more younger and unknown talent that have not yet debuted for GCW. So, if you think about it in a way, JCW is kind of like a feeder kind of system for GCW, because, like I said, like, they utilized more younger and unknown talent that had not yet debuted for GCW. But then you have people that were like, Joe Janela, you had Matt Riddle, you had Josh Barnett, you had Nick Gage. I think you had Shane Mercer in those talks too. You had like Effie, Alley Catch, one called Manders, you had Matthew Justice, you had Mance Warner. Like some of these people like that were getting more and more indie dates would go through GCW and kind of make their name well known there. Um, and then on January 22nd, GCW had sold out the World on GCW event, their debut in the Hammerstein Ballroom, which that was a very, very good event. It says the event marked the first GCW event to air on traditional pay-per-view outlets. Then on February 7th, 2022, GCW signed Nick Gage to a contract, which was referred to the first and only contract that GCW will offer. um, GCW owner Brett Lauderdale said of the contract, "This is a major milestone moment for both Nick and GCW. I've always been against the idea of contracts in GCW, but there are exceptions to every rule. From day one, Nick has put his body and literally his life on the line for the fans inside the square circle. He deserves and has earned the right to be rewarded that 20 plus years of hard work and sacrifice. This historic contract will do just that, allowing him to continue his in-ring career at a pace that is beneficial to his health, while beginning to focus on opportunities that take him towards the next phase of his career. Um, GCW would have not achieved that level of success it has without Nick fucking Gage, and we are proud to be able to say that GCW will remain Nick's home for the rest of his career." And then October of 2022, Lauderdale signed a guaranteed rights deal with Trio TV, become part of the Trio TV Plus thing, which I've been watching. um, and then GCW returned to Japan in September 2022 to be a partner with Pro Wrestling Freedoms, which is another like hardcore wrestling promotion, but in Japan. Um, and then they've held like a show with DDT Pro before. And plus they've been doing a lot of good stuff within like the wrestling atmosphere because like they've been part of like WrestleMania weekends a lot, which is like that's always good to see because like it's always good to see like independent promotions like thriving in the wake of WrestleMania and all that stuff because not a lot of people can go to WrestleMania a lot. And plus, like, go to support your local indies because it's like, they've got a lot of good talent on their roster, and it's like they're just waiting for somebody to be like, hey, like, let's go see this wrestling show. Um, so then, I don't know if it's been updated yet, but it says on October 29th, 2024, it says Nick Gage, GCW sole contract wrestler, announced that he was departing GCW, but I don't think that's been updated just as of yet. Um, so I know that Nick Gage, he had come back during Homecoming a few months ago. No, sometime last year. And kind of, said like, he was back. I know he's been dealing with some like personal and mental stuff lately and all that stuff, which I wish him well. It's hard out there sometimes with dealing with wrestling and trying to deal with personal life and real life stuff. Um, but you gotta keep in mind, some of these indie wrestlers, they're traveling to just anywhere that they can get booked. It's not like WWE wrestlers where it's like planes and or like plane rides and in taxis and all that shit. Like that's all stuff paid for. But some of these indie wrestlers, they gotta pay for their own hotel, they gotta pay for their own car rental, they gotta pay for their everything. Um, and some of them they either sink or swim. So yeah, this some of this hasn't been updated yet. Um, so so this is the roster that's on this at this point. They have like one called Manders. They have Alex Zane. They have Alakash, which like she's really not an active. Like she just came back not too long ago. Um, So I don't know about that. Atticus Kogar, who is their world champion right now. They have August Matthews, Bam Sullivan, Billy Starks, who is doing amazing shit right now. Bobby Flacco, Braden Toon, who is underrated. Brooke Havoc, another underrated person. Charles Mason, who's the JCW World Champion right now. Cyclope, Cole Radrick, who's currently injured right now, working his way up to coming back, which that's cool to see. CPA, Dante Leon, Dark Sheik, Davy Bang, Dominic Guarini, Effie, of course, obviously, KJ Orso, who is like my CAW inspiration. Gringo Loco, Jack Cartwheel, Jeffrey John the Babushka, Jimmy Lloyd, yeah, Jimmy Lloyd, Joey Janela. I almost said Jimmy Janela. Wow. John Wayne Murdoch, Josh Barnett, Kevin Coote, Latico, Lufisto. I don't know if Lufisto works for GCW anymore. Um, yeah, I really don't know. Um, Mance Warner, Marcus Mathers, Matt Mikowski or Matt Miko. Matt Tremont, yeah, like this. It says Matt Tremont's the Ultraviolet champion, but that's Otis Kogar right now. Microman's on there. Mito Extremo. Excuse me. Mr. Danger, Otis Kogar, Pero. Like I just saw Pero on a GCW show not too like last month, like, and he's looking good. Reed Bentley, Richard Holiday, Rico Gonzalez, Reno Yamashita, who is crazy freaking good. Sam Stackhouse, Sydney Akeem. I don't know if Sydney Akeem works for GCW anymore. I really don't know. I know Shane Mercer does. Starboy Charlie, Stefan Lander, Titus Alexander, Tony Deppen, and Yo Yo. um, I know like broadcast wise, Dave Prazak is like the only person that I enjoy listening on commentary. Him and MLJ, and also Jordan Castle is a very underrated guy too. Um, like Prazak, MLJ, and Jordan Castle, like that would be a good commentary team for me. Um, I mean, like I said, like I mean, who where's there not to say? Um, let's see. Oh yeah, okay. So I guess they did kind of update everything. They just didn't update what was on the roster thing. So it says as of March 6th. This is the current champions right now. We have Atticus Kogar, who's the world champion on a freaking run of his life right now. Charles Mason, who's just got back the JCW World Championship. Otis Kogar, who's the Ultraviolet champion. Um, uh, Alec Price and Jordan Oliver as the tag team champions right now. It's crazy that this is their second title reign, but they've both had three tag title reigns, I guess, from three different opponents or three different people, I guess. Um, which is crazy. Um, but they had other championships too. They had like a lot of different championships. Um, I mean, like I've always said this about Game Changer Wrestling too. Like I think it's one of those like alternatives to WWE, because of the fact that like not a lot of people want to watch WWE anymore, due to like probably like the storyline, or like just don't really want to watch WWE products anymore, which that is fine. Like that is totally fine. And I've always been, like I said, like I've always been an avid fan of GCW, even though sometimes like some of the booking kind of gets a little head scratchy a little bit, I still enjoy the fucking hell out of myself because it's like it's something that I can always like watch whenever I'm like feeling, down in the dumps or something. But you can also say the exact same thing about Jersey Championship Wrestling too, because they always have very, very good cards every single time. Um, and I think a lot of people should, go out of their way to watch Game Changer Wrestling and Jersey Championship Wrestling because there's always something for everybody. And I don't know, like like if you really wanted to watch something, I would say Game Changer Wrestling is literally the alternative for major wrestling promotions. Like I said, there's always something for everybody. Like if you wanted technical, there's always something for technical. If you wanted hardcore wrestling, there's always something for hardcore wrestling. If you wanted like something that was kind of like funny, GCW has that for you too. And plus, there's a lot of very good fucking talent out there that are trying to make a name for themselves that can't, go to a major wrestling company. Like, the show that I watched last month, like, they just got back, like, Mance Warner and Steph DeLander because Steph DeLander couldn't, wrestle because the TNA people were just like, well, no, you can't wrestle, sorry, even though they literally told her that she can wrestle, and she had to pay for everything out of her own pocket instead of TNA doing it. And so then, Mance stuck to his guns, left with his woman, and they ended up back in GCW. Um, and I think it's a good call. It was a very, very good call. So, um, I mean, like I said, what is there not to say good things about GCW? But I'm gonna leave it at that. This is actually kind of a cool retrospect, kind of like seeing like from humble beginnings and all that stuff. I wonder what the that Jersey J Cup for that year in 2000 was like. Um, let's see. So okay, so they had the Jersey J Cup. Let's see. Let's see. So they had the first one in 2000, the second one in 2001. Let's see. So they had some like good names on here. They had like Low Key. They had Reckless Youth, which I didn't really know much about him. I know he's a CCW guy and Jakara guy. Jay Lethal. They had Super Dragon on here. They had Rhett Titus on here. Devin Moore, Chris Dickinson. Like I said, Jordan Oliver. RJ Brewer. Who the hell is that? Um, hmm, okay. Oh, they had like Deranged on here. They had Grim Reaper on here. Um, I really don't know who would. Let's see. I love that they had an arena. There was a venue called the Garfield Boys and Girls Club. That's crazy. In Garfield, New Jersey. That's awesome. I don't know. I would have to look more into that. But I know in the later years for the J Cup, they went to that White Eagle Hall. Um, okay, so let's see. Oh my gosh. So there was a lot of people in the first one, in the first Jersey J Cup. They had like Homicide, they had Low Key, they had like some like yeah, like it said like up and coming people on there. Um, I know in the second one they had Low Key, they had Xavier, they had Joel Maximo and Jose Maximo, fucking SAT, that's awesome. Shark Boy, that's cool. Mike Quackenbush, Red, I think that's Amazing Red. Um, like they had some pretty cool people in the early ones. They had they had Brian Danielson in one of them. They had yeah, I think I was gonna say they probably had J. Mark in there too. No, that's not. Oh, yeah, they had both. They had both Briscoe brothers, huh? Um, let's see, they had. Let's see. They had Colt Cabana. They had AJ Styles in there. They had CM Punk. Um, I might have to look up into this Reckless Youth guy somewhat. I mean, he's still. Yeah, I was about to say. I thought he was still active, but he's not. He was a backyarder that went to the mainstream, which is kind of funny. Um, so the finals was like for one of the Jersey J Cups was American Dragon versus Reckless Youth. Like that's gotta be something that I can look forward into. Um, and then like in like later years they had like Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, Jimmy Jacobs. They had Homicide. They had Ruckus. They had Alex Shelley in this too. Jay Lethal versus CM Punk. That sounds like a good dream match right there. Uh, I don't know. Like I would have to look into some of the other the Jersey Jacobs just to I guess like like look at it through rose tinted glasses. 'Cause that actually sounds kind of fun, like looking at like the older stuff, kind of just looks cool. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna leave the episode here. And tonight's song of the night, it is going to be a group called the Paradox. Um, and the song is called Bender. And it has Travis Barker in it, and there is a music video for it too. But if you have made to the very end of this video, we do really appreciate it. And if you want to follow us on all social media links in the description below, which will take you to our link tree page, which will take you to our Instagram pages, Twitter pages, the podcast Reddit pages on there, my gaming YouTube channel is on there. And yeah, that's it. And I will see you guys next Thursday. Peace.